And we're joined by the defending FCIAC football champions, the Darien Blue Wave at Darien High School. I'm Rob Adams. They're all here. Well, not the entire team, but you get the idea. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with the quarterback down to my left.
Timmy Graham, quarterback, senior.
I'm Colin Minikis, wide receiver, senior.
I'm Hudson Hamill. I'm a safety and slot receiver, senior.
Bobby Trifone, senior, wide receiver and corner. Christian Trifone, senior, running back and safety.
Mark Ivanchik, senior, defensive end.
All right, guys. Timmy, I'll start with you. You know, we were talking about it before we came on last year, and I said this in all sincerity, one of the best football games I've ever had the chance to be a broadcaster on, and I know you guys all probably feel that same way. Down right before the half, a big score, and I was telling you in the booth, we were looking at each other going, what are we going to talk about in the second half? You guys made my job a lot easier.
Yeah, that score right before halftime was a big momentum setter, going into halftime down 21-7. It's a lot easier to come back than 21-0. Then the defense just absolutely stepped it up in the second half and got us the ball back, and we scored some big touchdowns towards the end.
Colin, I'm taking a look around at the team today, and my colleague, our director, Eric Gendron, and I are going, you guys have just seem to have everybody back. You look like you're really one of the top teams coming into this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we returned a lot of players, but we also lost a lot. Will Hamrick, Griffin Ross, Todd Herget, Peter Archie, everybody on the skill side of the ball. But, I mean, we're very confident in our returners, and I think there's a lot of momentum coming into the season as well.
Hudson, one thing I noticed from you was how multidimensional you were, how dangerous you could be. What do you look to improve upon this year?
I think we definitely worked hard in the offseason, put on weight, trying to be more physical, the defensive presence in the run game for sure, and we've been working on blocking a lot for the skill players outside. That'll help our downfield plays a lot.
As I turn around to this side and I bring in some of the guys over here, defensively, so strong last year. Again, kind of the same thing I asked Hudson. How do you improve on what you did last year?
I mean, we're looking to improve everywhere, even the defense. Obviously, we return our entire secondary, but we're looking to improve where the middle linebackers are, line. Obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, we're looking to do well this year.
The schedule is loaded. You guys are right there at the top. There's this other team that starts with an N. I don't dare mention them, but you guys will be ready for them on Thanksgiving Day. That's one of two games we'll have here on the HAN Network.
Yes, sir. We'll be ready for that. Don't worry. We've been doing a lot in the off season, getting together, getting our communication set, just working on getting the whole, mesh going together with our defense. So I think we're ready.
Mark, I'll finish up with you. You know, we talked to you at the lacrosse championships, and congratulations on that once again. But at the same time, again, thinking about the schedule, thinking about how good the FCIAC is, and you guys, to me right now, look as good as anybody in the conference. How do you not kind of fall back on going, oh, we're so good, we'll just, how do you stay focused coming into this year?
Well, if you look at last year, we started off against Hill House, and we kind of had that air that we didn't have to play and we could win on talent alone. I think this year we're learning off of that, and we're going to come in with a more of a worker mentality. And not that we didn't work last year. I think we're going to be more prepared to kind of come out of the gates firing week one.
We saw them a bunch of times on the HAN radio side last year. Here on the HAN network this year, we'll see them a couple of times, once against Greenwich and once against that red team just to the north. So we'll see them. They're as good as anybody in the league. The question is, who's going to knock these guys off? We thank them all for their time. It's the Darien High School varsity football team on the HAN network at Darien High School. With the head coach of the Blue Wave football team, I'm Rob Adams. He's another Rob Trifone. Coach, long time here now, 11 years, defending FCIAC champion. And, I talked to a bunch of your guys before, a lot of guys coming back, but there's always turnover.
Right, and the greatest turnover is in our defensive line, where we've lost 3 out of 4, all 3 big boys, playing at the next level. We do return Ivanchik, and obviously we've got juniors and seniors that are trying to fill some big shoes.
How do you feel to put all the, kind of off the field postseason stuff, because there was so much chatter going on in the off season regarding the championship and all this other stuff? It's probably good to just get back to being on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. This particular group of seniors really looking forward to this season. And again, you talked about the chatter in the off season and losing the state, championship by a point. I think it helped, fuel their off season.
That championship game, since you brought it up, is there a sting to that? Does it carry? Does it motivate, or is it just you turn the page on it?
There's a sting. Yeah. Look, anytime Darien plays New Canaan, and you come on the short end, you ask Lou Marinelli, there's a sting. So, for our kids, it was a tough sting, and of course for them, it was a sting on the Thanksgiving Day. But again, I think it was a major motivator in the off season.
Let's go back to that Thanksgiving Day game. I told Timmy Graham before, it's among the best games I've ever had the chance to watch or be a part of. And all that said, what came together? Down late first half, it seems like the game is in rough shape, but you guys make a great comeback. What changed?
I don't know that anything changed other than settling down and making a couple of adjustments that they had heard us on early, with their offense. And of course, down 21-7 at half, we went in, to the locker room, and I could tell that this team was ready to come back. Now, whether it happens or not is another thing, because they're kids, but there was certainly an air of confidence in the locker room.
We'll see you on the field this year. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rob.
Coach Rob Trifone with me. He's here on the HAN Network at Darien High School.